Evening, everyone, and welcome back. I say evening, good afternoon, evening, whatever time you're watching this. I know there's obviously quite a few people already in the chat. Hope everyone's well. Of course, I'm joined by Neil, doing it a bit of a different time. Of course, yesterday I was busy. Today, Neil was in work, and we're both busy later on, so that's why we're doing it a little bit earlier. So I know a lot of you will be watching it back on the replay, so don't forget to leave a like. Of course, now if you're watching it or you do watch it back on the replay, and also if you're watching it back, then do leave your score prediction. Of course, yeah, hope everyone's well. Get any questions in as always. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. Support has been amazing. I know the last week has been quiet, and as well, there was no match reaction because I didn't actually go to the game on Saturday. I was ill, so I didn't end up going to the game. I come back from work, wasn't feeling well. And obviously that's why there was no content over the weekend after the game, etc. So this week, me and Neil are both going Burton, so there will be content. Of course, yeah, heading up to the Pirelli Stadium, hoping we can get something. Of course, yeah. Hope you do enjoy though. Good to be back. Like I said, I know it's a bit different times, but yeah, joined by Neil though. How are you doing? How are you sort of feeling after sort of the week that's gone and the last game to had time to think about it over the last few days?
Yeah, I didn't mind it, mate. To be honest, these first few games of the season, you never know what to expect anyway. Like, I thought we beat them on Saturday, to be honest. But as it transpired, we weren't as good as what I thought we were going to be. They were probably a bit better than what I thought they were going to be. But I just don't think it really matters, to be honest. Even going into a few games in, I still don't think it matters. Like, teams are still a million miles off of what they're going to be come sort of April, May anyway. So I'm pretty relaxed about it, to be honest.
Yeah. Yes, it's a weird one, Nick, because obviously I think a lot of people were confident, and then obviously then when Finley obviously misses out, obviously we still got Coots for what was it, 2 more games? I think the Crawley game includes it as well, I think, if I'm not wrong. So I think it's Burton and Crawley, then Coots should be back, but then even him, there's word going out that he's picked up a niggle, which is a bit annoying because like that's obviously obviously I know we still got plenty of time in the transfer window, even though myself included and other fans are getting a bit restless that there's we haven't got much depth. Like you look at the team on Saturday and you look at the bench, apart from what Lofty and Saunders, there wasn't really much else. It was a lot of youngsters, of course. So Matt's in the chat saying what chances that Finley should be back. It's 50-50 at the moment. So yeah, it's pretty frustrating, to be honest. But let's quickly say all right to a few people. We've got Kieran Weston, hope you're good. We got Matt said, let me know about my connection or sound. Is it better this week? I've tried changing the mic and the settings around, so hopefully it should be better. Evening to Chris, big up to Luca as well. But yeah, Matt saying, what are the chances? Obviously talking about the lineup against Forest Green, we pretty much got it right, I think. And yeah, speaking of Finley, happy birthday as well. Saying Matt says, yeah, the big 3-0 today, Finley. But yeah, we'll evening to Louis as well. We're gonna get started into that. What was your thoughts on the lineup? We pretty much got it spot on. Obviously, you thought Barton might change it a little bit, considering Forest Green, play that sort of defense with the wing backs. What was your thoughts when you seen the lineup come out?
I mean, I wasn't desperately shocked by what I saw. He's obviously picked whatever is available to him. Like the side sort of picked itself when you see what he had available to him. I thought he might have gone with the 3 at the back just because we ain't got an aerial ball winner, So I just thought he might have gone another centre half in there if he could to get a little bit more cover. I mean, Saturday we didn't learn anything we didn't already know from what we've got really. Saturday we're missing someone who can win an initial contact in both boxes, which proved our downfall really, and it's always going to be that way until that gets addressed. So it's going to be an issue until it gets addressed, whether that be Saturday, next Saturday, Barnsley on a Tuesday, wherever. Until that gets addressed, if you winning a ball in each box and having a dominant ball winner. Like last season, Connor Taylor, 99% of the time, won that initial contact, and it got us out of trouble time and time again. And it was there to see on Saturday that we just don't have that at the minute. And it's an area that I think sides will wholeheartedly target us, because it was one of our best assets last season of getting us out of trouble and winning initial contacts in opposition boxes that lead to chances and goals, second phases, etc. We just haven't got that at the minute. So I think we'll be targeted pretty strongly on it in weeks to come.
Yeah, that's the big thing that worries me as well. You know, a lot of people are saying about the Trevor Clark and all the stuff, the mad stuff that was on Twitter. And actually, I've seen the last few days, people have been saying, Trevor Clark's apparently had a falling out with Barton or something like that. I don't think he's been training with the team since the weekend, because I've seen not many players would post on Instagram, on their Instagram story, that they're training, on their own in some, like, I think yesterday he was at Eastfield Park, running, which seems a bit weird because you thought he'd be doing it in training. And then today he was in I think Nutfield Health, like a gym or something. So yeah, it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird with that. We will go on to it more, but yeah, I totally agree. The fact that we need a dominant centre half, someone that's tall. Me, I would prefer a little bit more of experience, but obviously, I don't know if you've seen as well. A lot of stuff going around that we're linked with 2 centre backs. I think one's called Jake O'Brien from Crystal Palace, 6'5", so even taller than Connor Taylor. Was on loan at Swindon for half a season. Apparently meant to be pretty good on the ball considering his size, but still a bit raw. I did have a chat with a Swindon fan. I've seen we've had talks, or we're linked with him. It's been in Bristol Live as well. Matt's saying Jordan Willis. I don't think it will come from Sunderland to us. I think Barton does want another youngster. Otherwise, you'd have seen us linked to maybe a bit more experience as well. Matt said, I've seen no credible journalists cover the Clark story, and Charlton. Yeah, a lot of people have said it. Yeah, Hayner at the back. Yeah, I did used to be a centre back, but no. Louis saying as a Port Vale fan, having to play Fleetwood and Exeter as our first two as a dream start. Yeah, fair play, good win, even though Fleetwood did get the goal. But yeah, that's the thing that worries me though as well. And I think, like yourself, a lot of gas heads are the same with that sort of height. We still need, Barton, said 5 or 6, and after the game, obviously he said 6 or 7. What was your thoughts on, saying about, Westbrook and that Trevor Clark thing as well, saying, if you'd have said, they'd be in the starting team, it'd be a disaster or something like that. What was your thoughts on that after the game when he said that?
I don't think it's a problem, to be honest. Like, I think some people have blown that well out of proportion. I'd rather, fans rather, and players are honestly have a manager that's dead honest with you and tell you exactly how it is. Like, whatever got said post-match is nothing them two lads don't already know. You can't tell me Westbrook doesn't know exactly where he stands at that football club. He played Saturday because there was no one else to play. If Josh Grant's fit, he plays. If Finley's fit, he plays. If Coots is fit, he plays. You know what I mean? There's so many more in the pecking order above him. He played in there because that's who we had to play, and there was no one else there. I felt sorry for Rossiter, because you can see Rossiter is still not at it. He's still not fit. Loads of them aren't, and that goes across the EFL. That's just not Rovers. It takes 6 to 8 games for them to get up to speed and feel like they can get 90 minutes in their lungs as it is. So Rossiter's below par as it is, and having to go in there with Westbrook, I mean, I want to like Westbrook, I really do, but it just shows me nothing to suggest that he's worthy of playing for us, to be honest, because everything that's been good about our midfield is what we do off the ball, and he offers you nothing off the ball, Westbrook, and when he gets it, he's sloppy at times, and I understand Joey's frustration, to be honest, and saying, like, if you'd have told me that he'd be starting, I'd be amazed. And like, I think we all were, but ultimately, needs must, he had to play, because that's how it was. The Trevor Clark one, it could just be a G-up. You just don't know with Joey because he's got previous. He's done it at Fleetwood where he has fallen out with players and he's got a shot of them. If you don't get into his way of thinking, you toe the line, you'll be moved on pretty quick. And if he's had a falling out with Trevor Clark, then he will be shown the door because I just think that's how Joey runs it. That you don't get too many second chances with him. So whatever's gone on, I don't know, but ultimately it could be collateral damage and Trevor Clark could be moved on if that is the case. Or it could just be a G-up. If he didn't like what he saw from him and he thinks he could get better out of him, it could just be a G-up. He did it with Luke Thomas. People think he got a reaction out of Luke Thomas. I don't particularly think he did, to be honest. He did okay, but nothing amazing. But the Westbrook one I get, the Trevor Clark one could be one or two things, but ultimately them two lads know exactly where they stand at the football club. It wouldn't have been a surprise to them.
No. Yeah, I completely agree. It is obviously a bit weird that, he's only just signed a contract, hasn't he, as well, Trevor Clark.
But honestly, I still don't think that matters with Joey. If you don't toe the line or you don't fall into his way of thinking, or there's a iota of disruption, he'll try and get rid of you and he'll find someone else.
Yeah, it is pretty mad with him. It's you can be expected because he wants he wants performance. He wants you to know the way he play, etc. Louis said Gibbons play against Forest Green. You've got a quality player there if he stays injury free. Yeah, he did play. Apparently, he played well. Like I said, I didn't actually go to the game. If you're just tuning in, I didn't go. I was ill. I come back from work on the night, got back home in the morning. I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't even go. So I was gutted, but obviously in the end, it was not as gutting because obviously we didn't win and, we lost, conceded, 89th minute. But yeah, going on, obviously I know you watched the game. A lot of people have said, and, Barton has said, we sort of started well without really doing much, had a lot of possession, but didn't really do much. Then Forest Green got into the game and we couldn't really get it back until, sort of the second half when he made the substitutions and Saunders caused them a few problems, sort of created the goal as well through his pressing and, running him in behind. But I know it's the first game of the season, but it does worry me. Like it should with a lot of people. I know it's the first game, but you're playing Forest Green, whether they do well or not this season, you sort of want to create more chances because, watching the highlights and seeing, again, Belly was there to save us. A lot of times the post saved us. It could have been more. Yes, we could have, had a goal, a few more goals or whatever. But does that worry you? I know it's early, but does it worry you that against Forest Green we didn't really create that much and they had a lot of domination and really good clear-cut chances against us?
No, not one bit, mate. Like I said, not one bit. It's a mixed bag opening game of the season, and it will be for a good few games yet. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the season doesn't really start until the window closes anyway, because everyone's got work to do. What you see now from everyone's squad isn't the finished article, and it won't be until gone the January window anyway. But ultimately, everyone's still building into a season. Look how we started last season. We was horrendous as well, but managed to get a bit of momentum and get going eventually. I'm not saying it's going to be that way this season, but there's no need to be concerned about anything as far as I'm concerned. We're still putting a squad together, same as every other club in the division. No one's got it bang on just right at the moment. So it's just a waiting game and being a bit patient to see who comes in and who goes out, because there's so many moving parts to transfers. You can't just bring them all in like before first game of the season, or bring them all in the first 3-4 games of the season. You're gonna have to be patient and suck it up, because I think you'll see more of the same on Saturday. To be honest, it's just a waiting game of being patient, having to put up with the dross for a little bit before we can get who we need through the door. Everyone get up to speed, gel them all and bed them all in together, and then create a side from there. But I don't think it's going to be nowhere near as hard as it was last season to get it all pieced together. You just got to bide your time and wait, because the market drops out towards the end of the window. Everyone's holding out for the best deal, and all the agents are holding out for the best bit of money, and that all sort of happens towards the last few days of the window, where stuff starts to move about. Everyone needs to be replaced, and then I think Joey, as far as the centre back scenario goes, Joey will dip into the loan market anyway and get a young centre half who he feels he can mould. Doesn't matter if they're raw. You look how Joey played Connor Taylor, simple instruction, edit and kick it. That's all he wanted him to do. Just win them first contacts and get rid, and then play if you can, and learn how to obviously play out from the back and defend that way on the training pitch. He won't want much to come in as far as a skill set other than can you win an initial header and be physical, and then they'll be coached off the back of that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, it'd be sort of the same way like he done with Connor Taylor, because you've seen him. He'd only played at Chester, a few games on loan, and then it sort of be the same. Yeah, like I said, we've been linked with a few players. Looks like Thomas is coming back. I know a lot of people. I put that post up about Luke Thomas, coming back soon, and people were like, "Oh, he's lying. Why is he not come back yet?" But he was. It sort of tells you he's going to be coming back soon. Whether it's going to be a loan or permanent, I'd like to think it would be a permanent deal. I don't think why would they loan him out again? Whether I don't think he's going to get into the Barnsley team. So, and obviously you've got the Luke McCormick situation, which has been going on and on. Obviously Wimbledon are wanting 250, 300 grand plus. And you can see why. He's probably their best player. He's still got 2 years left of a 3-year deal. He done very well last season. I know he got relegated, but he is a good player, and he'll definitely improve the side. And he can play, like we said, with a few players, he can play a number of positions. So I think we'll see. But like you said, there is still a long time. There's still 27 days until the transfer window, so we still got a long time as well. Bowers, hi Charlie lad. Considering things don't look great with Burton right now, this is a game you should be. Yeah, of course. It is a big game. In the fact that obviously we've both lost our first game. Especially for us. I know a lot of games in League One are going to be tough, but you look at the games after. Oxford at home next week, of course, early kickoff. You got Barnsley away. You got Portsmouth away. We got Sheffield Wednesday coming up soon. But every game's going to be tough, and obviously I trust Barton. It is obviously me and a lot of people are like, oh, where's the signings? Because you could see it. You can see in our. Like I said at the start, when you don't have Finley, you don't have that. Like you talked about, Westbrook, his off the ball stuff is non-existent. You don't really see him putting a tackle. He's not a box to box like Finley is. And then you got Coots as well, and then you even had Whelan. Obviously, they announced Whelan as a player coach. Even Whelan was on the bench. So yeah, we need plenty of signings, but. Obviously, we've got plenty of time, but we do need. It is a big game, like you said, and obviously, hopefully, you beat City as well, Bowers as well. Bowers, Sunderland fan, they've got Ashton Gate on Saturday, so yeah, hopefully they can get their first win of the season. But what were the main players for you that stood out to you against Forest Green? Barton said Marquis played well, Gibbons, Hall, but what was your thoughts on Saturday?
I thought everyone played fine for like half hour. I thought we were all right for half hour. We looked good, but off the back of that, we were as good as sort of Forest Green let us. They sort of sat in, they just had a look at us really for half an hour, and then decided what they were going to do off the back of assessing what we do. And they played it real damn right, to be honest. They had a look at us, saw what we had to offer, tried to nullify it, and then they sort of played in pockets. They sort of played in 10-minute spells, dropped off a little bit, let us have it. Then they sort of kicked on. They had a good 10-minute spell where they be energetic. I think they played the opening day pretty well for what they had. And I mean, again, you're looking at a free header to succeed. Forget Belly saves. I mean, as far as last season, we went up and Belly was making them saves anyway. And that's just how we play. We are open at times, and there's pros and cons to what we did on Saturday. There was good stuff and there was bad stuff. The bad stuff will be addressed because it's the opening day. No one's really up to speed. That side isn't what it's going to be, but we were still throwing our body in front of the ball. That's what Rovers did last season. There were sides that had plenty of time to get shots away in the box, and you saw our centre halves, fullbacks, our double screen, just throw in their body in the box. We did that on Saturday as well, so it's not really concerning. We're still going to play the same sort of way as we did last season.
Yeah.
I mean, conceding the free header is a concern, but it's going to be, until it gets addressed, that's always going to be a concern, and we will get targeted for it. It's a great header. The winner from Endry is unreal. This is a great finish. You just got to hold your hands up and say that is an unreal finish. Like, that's worthy of winning any game. It's gutting that it's the 88th minute and we've lost at home, but at the end of the day, it's a hell of a finish, the way he's tucked it away. Yeah, I thought we did all right for half an hour. As far as individual performances, Belly is as good as he always is as far as shot stopping. I thought Gibbons did all right for half hour. I mean, the Marcus one, I thought, again, we didn't play great. We're trying to hit him on diags from 40 yards at back post. That's never his game. But I don't think himself either, John Marcus. He's sort of dropping off like in the pocket and trying to get on the half turn and beat a man from. That's never his game. Like, he's looking for stuff across the box, in the 6-yard box, and them little corridors, and getting on the end of things on first touches. We didn't really play to his strengths, and he looked like he was trying too hard on his debut to me, like, rather than actually playing to how well he can do and knowing what he can do, is getting on bits and pieces. The subs did change it. Saunders looked good. I think Loft, we give him a bit of stick and we sort of banter about him as well. He's not technically brilliant, but what he gives you is a different outlet and something to play off of. And when they both came on, they both played to their strengths, and Lofty won fouls. He give a few away, but a big nine's going to do that. Saunders chased off Cordis. He's a direct runner. He's strong. And yeah, they did change it. We are susceptible, like through the middle of the pitch with Westbrook in there with a less than, fit Rossiter alongside him. And we're not dominant in the air at the back at the minute. So through pretty much, once you breach our midfield, we are open at the minute. And it's something that's going to continue to be a concern until it gets addressed at the back end of the window. So it's not going to get fixed Saturday. We're going to concede chances, and we're going to be susceptible on Saturday as well, and going forward until probably the back end of the window.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Obviously, hopefully we can get it sorted as soon as possible. Yeah, people having a laugh in chat saying McCormick announced. I wish, but even to Gassed Steve as well. Do hit the like button though if you haven't already. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Bauer saying for you, I think 2-1 Rovers. Hopefully, I hope you're right. We just need to win. I mean, of course, sort of looking at Burton Albion, they of course had a battering. I think 3 goals in the first half on Saturday. Conceded. They looked terrible at the back. The easy way in that every time the Wycombe came forward, they pretty much scored. They've lost a few players. They brought in a few players. Of course, I didn't realise until a couple of days ago they brought in Victor Adebayo, the one that was on loan from Barnsley. They brought him on a free. And they brought, Keeler Dunn, who was at Oldham. I think he scored against us last season in that Dross away game where we lost 2-1 against Oldham. But what's your thoughts on Burton Albion? Because a lot of people think they'll finish in the relegation zone. I think if you count Saturday's game, their 3-0 loss against Wycombe, I think that's only 2 wins in the last 14 going back from last season. What do you make of Wycombe? Like, do you think they'll stay up this year? Do you think they'll be comfortable, or do you think they're going to be in another bad situation? Because they did really, really struggle at the end of last season.
Well, I've not tipped them to go down. I think they'll stay up, but where they finish, I think they'll finish middle of the road at best. But what I make of them is I don't make anything of anyone. Like, Wycombe battered them on Saturday, but that's not to say that that's like the Wycombe are the done deal. Do you know what I mean? They could get beat Saturday. You just don't know. It's so early and too early to tell. But if you was to look at that squad as a whole, there's not much there to frighten you at Burton. I mean, They got Brayford at the back. He's old as the hills, really. He don't pull up trees. He's never going to get a move to a side that, are going to be at the top end. I mean, Mansian, I think he's out injured anyway. There's nothing really there. Like you say, you've got Adebayo up front. He's not a goal threat, really. He's a lump. He's good back. Say good. He's an all right back to goal sort of centre forward that brings other people into play and try and win fouls. But he's never going to weigh you in with 15 goals a season. So there's not much there. If you look at Burton and go, "Oh, that's a concern. That's a concern." But you don't know what they're going to react like or what they're going to respond. They could come out the traps and be a completely different side. It's so early. The opening day tells you nothing. You know what I mean, we could play really well Saturday. You just don't know. But I don't expect a lot from Burton as far as like a challenge. As far as I don't think they're going to keep loads of the ball. They'll be thrilling going forward, but they might be hard to beat and they might dig in and they might give us a game. As far as effort and work rate. But yeah, there's not much there that frightens me as far as the side.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it, with them? Because like you said, they haven't, they've sort of always been the same as like they don't have loads of star players, but like you said, they'll dig in. They got a lot of experience. Like you said, Adebayo, you watch, he'll probably score against us as well. He'll probably score against us. You can just see it written in the stars,
I fully expect Burton to score against us. I still think there will be goals.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, obviously, we will get on to score predictions in a bit, but I don't think there'll be many goals. I think it'll be one goal. Maybe 2 goals in it. I know. Yeah, you look at both teams on paper. Like I said, we both lost, but I can't see there being that many goals. I know, we're early on in the season. But yeah, creating wise, it could be a completely different game. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, it's going to be interesting, really. Afternoon to Kelly as well. Hi, Charlie and Neil. Hope you guys are well. At the Gas, shouldn't make too much about last weekend. Don't forget the Gas start to Division 2 last season. Burton were hammered last week, so must be feeling vulnerable. Yeah, I agree. I mean, sort of the same with us, but at least we didn't get hammered. It could have been, a lot worse, really, with us. But yeah, appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, keep hitting the like as well. If you are enjoying this stream, do subscribe as well. Even to Barry as well. Lidney Gas, hope you're well. Gas says Steve saying Neil talk since we should. We don't know. Maybe Forest Green will be best League One team this season, and we did well to stay in the game. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the way they play, very attacking. They all know what they're doing. I know they've lost probably the best players, but they've still got a lot of the core from last season. So, yeah, I mean, I was going to say, what do you make of Burton's manager? Of course, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, been there for a few seasons now. He was actually linked with the Barnsley job as well, which was very interesting to see. Of course, they went with Duff in the end, but like you said, we pretty much know what to expect in a way, don't we? With sort of Burton, they're one of those sides where you look at, you've got other teams like Sheffield United or Rotherham, for say quite physical team. You said about the experience. It's just, I think it's just getting the first goal is going to be, I think, the most important, especially with, I know Burton can be solid. They don't usually concede loads of goals, but yeah, I mean, people saying Clark's gone. I don't know if they're having me on, but yeah, even Charlie Webb saying it as well. But I mean, yeah, I got told the other day that he's gonna add a bust up and leaving, but who knows? Like you said, Barton could be just saying that to get it on.
He's under contract though. He can't. He's not just going to walk away. Someone's going to have to pay a fee for him. They don't just, else he's going to get paid up, isn't he? So, like, he can't just walk away from something. A deal's got to get done somewhere or another.
Was it 2 or 3 years?
Whatever it is, he's under contract. He can't just walk out the door and say, I'm going to go and play for someone else. The deal's got to get done.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and they're not going to do, and they're not going to do an EMA as well. They're not going to cancel his contract. Just seems, yeah. Well, Clark, Westbrook, Rodman, yeah, all been told to find new clubs, but obviously, yeah,
That's a different scenario though. Being told to find a new club's one thing.
Yeah.
Leaving the club's another.
Yeah. I mean, it was only be that he's, they're not going to get told to go, not just cancel it. So, yeah, I'm not really surprised. I think Kilgore's one of them as well in there. I should imagine if Matt's saying it's five players, including Trevor Clark. So yeah, Rodman.
There's got to be incomings. There has to be incomings before any more go out the door. You let Kilgore go, you're another centre half down, which you can't even afford to have at the minute. I know he's probably not fully fit, but you let Kilgore walk out the door. What have you got as centre halves? You've got to have incomings as well as outgoings. You can't just let people go, and you can't let 5 walk out the door and go, "Oh, we'll just wait to the end of the window." You won't even be able to field a side.
Yeah. What? Yeah, Harry's saying Clark, Westbrook, Rodman, Egan, and Hill for loan. But yes, I mean, yeah, fair enough. Egan and Hill, yeah, they need to go out on loan. Egan was at Hereford. He done well, but obviously it's completely different. And he's still young anyway. It's still weird though. I still don't get it. It's obviously, I don't know what it was. I just don't get it. It could be anything. It could be anything, but it's a shame really because I rate Trevor Clark, but obviously if we're not going to know unless
he's got previous though. He has got previous, Joey, with this. Like if Fleetwood, he will make an example of someone. He will make an example of someone if he feels something needs to get G'd up inside that ground or that group. And unfortunately, Trevor Clark could be the one that gets sacrificed because just to make an example of someone for whatever reason. It could be anything. It could be ill discipline. It could be standards dropped or what. But if he's done something to aggravate or something that Barton don't like, this don't go just for Trevor Clark. There's not many second chances with Barton, I don't think.
No, yeah, I agree. Obviously it's going to be something pretty bad. Obviously, we're probably not going to know Barton. I doubt he's going to come out and say it. But yeah, like you said, now obviously with Anderton as well. Obviously, hope he gets well soon. But yeah, that's what's that. There's we've got players that can play left back. It's going to be interesting now because unless we bring in a centre back either this evening or tomorrow, and Trevor Clark's been told to leave, then it'll probably be Kilgore in centre back, Gibbons to left back, and Hull right back. Because I would rather play. I know BRC Tom saying there Anderson going to play left back, but he's wasted there. I don't want to see Harry Anderson at left back. He's absolutely wasted at left back. I'd rather Kilgore, a natural centre back. I know he played quite a bit in pre-season. I know he's had his injury problems, but if he's fit, then I'd play him. Me personally, I don't know what it is with you, but I don't want to see our only winger. And he is our only winger. I know Collins has played left wing on the weekend, etc. But we don't, and I don't. Yes, I mean, me personally, I don't want to see Harry Anderson at left back. I don't know what your thoughts is on that.
Well, I've never wanted to see Harry Anderson play fullback ever, apart from on the final day when he was never ever going to play as a fullback anyway, because we can have so much of the ball. But unless a deal goes through before Saturday, I still expect Trevor Clark to play. To be honest,
but it's strange though. I don't think he must have done something very bad for him to sign a contract. I know you said if Barton's like it in that, but still it must be. I don't know what it is, but it's
all speculation. We don't know nothing. But ultimately, unless a deal unless a deal goes through before Saturday, I can only see him playing because I don't know who else you play there. That's what I mean. We're so thin on the ground. I just don't know who else he plays there. Unless he has fallen out with him so bad that he wants him nowhere near that squad.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna have to be Gibbons because Gibbons played a number of positions last season. He can play left back. Yeah, and I know a lot of people. Yeah, Matt said I'd rather have Anderson on the wing. Even into Luke as well, saying we need three signings at least before Crawley. He ain't gonna play Harry Anderson. He ain't gonna play Harry Anderson. Will be left back. Even into Gordo as well. Keep hitting the like button there if you haven't already. Do share the stream as well. Do subscribe if you're new. Keep getting in your comments. But yeah, a lot of, like you said, a lot of that news. Sam Frost put it out. Everyone's saying I would get Bristol up, but I haven't used the share screen before, so I don't really want to go and mess up the stream completely. But I will work on that so I can do it. What's that Kelly saying? I've purchased a pair of slippers with studs on. I'm ready, lads. Yeah, Kelly. Yeah, left back. Yeah, even Harry said Harry Anderson will play left back. Well, I mean, nearly 40 minutes in, we'll probably we might as well get into it already. You know, we've talked about most of the things, breaking news that, I did get told the other day that pretty much all the players, players that have been announced by Frosty and Bristol Live will be leaving. Going with everyone's starting lineups, you can leave them in the comments as well. I should imagine most people probably be Saunders on the wing and Collins and etc. But yeah, leave your lineup predictions in the comments below. We'll get onto score predictions in a minute. Maybe Whelan, is Whelan gonna come in and play? Is Whelan gonna play? Who knows? I would play him. Why not? He would do
He's not had a single game in pre-season. I think he's been painting his fence all summer, and he's come onto the coaching staff. I think he's probably got 10, 15 minutes in him. That's probably what he's got in him.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. What's that? I made a mistake bringing Trevor Clark back. I shouldn't have brought him back. I should have really known from last year, but I gave him a chance, and he hasn't managed to take it. I don't get that. Like you say, it must have been something he's done in training, or he said to Barton or whatever. But I think he's done very well. The games he played last season, I know he didn't play a lot, but yeah, Joey said them 5. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why if you go on Trevor Clark's Instagram, that's why he's been running around Eastfield Park, and at Nutfield Health Gym or Community Centre or whatever it is, training, because like you said, yeah, they've been told not to play. Even into Nick as well, a midfielder and a centre back before Oxford, and I'd be okay with that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully even more, but yeah, by next week, who knows? Keep hitting the like button though. But yeah, Neil, what would you go for if Trevor Clark looks like he's not even going to be playing? If he's training on his own, what would you go for on Saturday?
Mate, I don't even know. Like, we're that thin on the ground. I don't even know where you go with, like, if what we had on Saturday isn't available to us. If Trevor Clark doesn't play left back, then as much as I don't want to see it, I just can't help but think that it's got to be Anderson, isn't it? Who else is going to go in there as a fullback? If Gibbons goes one side, Anderson's got to go the other. If you're going to play a 4.
Yeah, but Hall right back now, and then
yeah, but he'll play him as a right-sided centre half, won't he?
Yeah, but his natural position's right back, so surely you'd just put him right back in Kilgore centre back with Connolly.
But Kilgore's not fit, obviously. He's not played. Else he'd have played him Saturday. We had no one. He's the only ball winner as a centre half, isn't he? He didn't play him. That's how thin on the ground we are. That is how thin on the ground we are.
Yeah.
I mean,
unless we sign someone this evening or tomorrow, a centre back on loan or whatever.
This is what I mean. This is what I'm saying at the start. It's not going to get fixed overnight. I think we're in for a little bit of pain, like for a good few games yet, where we might just have to lick our wounds and go, right, we're not great at the minute, but we've got to wait until the window closes and get the reinforcements in, and then like sort of build into September. I think you might want to write off August and just say we're not going to pick up that many points.
Yeah, it's going to be another slow start, especially with, like you said, the fixtures coming up after Burton. Really, we want to be winning it. Yeah, what would you? I know it's hard, but what would you go for? I know it's very, because then, like you said, the bench is literally gonna it'd be the same, wouldn't it? It'd be, to be fair, a lot. There was a few. How many I can't remember how many youngsters were on the bench on Saturday. I don't think
the only senior pros on the bench was Jacola, Loft,
Saunders,
Saunders, and Alfie. They were the only senior pros, weren't they?
And don't forget Super Glenn.
Oh, and Whelan, yeah, I don't really count him as a player anymore. He's just filling holes, wasn't he? You won't see him on the bench unless he has to be there, I don't think, Whelan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. In front of that back four, I don't know. You're gonna. I don't want to see Westbrook in there. I'd rather, if you have to play a double screen, I'd rather just play Rosser in there with Evans, because Evans gives you some off the ball. I know he's great, creative, and he can sit in that 10, and he can open doors, etc. But at least he's got a bit of nibble in him, and he can win the ball back. He can win he can draw a foul if he needs to. Westbrook without the ball is pointless. He's absolutely pointless. And then I'd rather play Collins ahead of him. And to be honest, I'd play Loft with Marcus just because you can bring him back for corners. He can win stuff in both boxes, because at the minute we haven't got that over 90 minutes or until he comes on. We don't win the first contact on anything.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's so it's crazy. You know, what the hell, is going on with everything.
It's just it's just going to be a bit painful. There's nothing to worry about or be concerned about. It's just a bit painful.
It is sort of.
It's not though. I don't think it is. Over the course of 40 games, over the course of 40 odd games, not being perfect and for the first month is no big deal.
I mean, it is this season though. I think personally, I'm not saying, I still think we'll obviously do well, but I just think a better start is needed, especially, we're not going to be anywhere near top 7 or, maybe pushing 10th, 11th, but it's just, especially with the start, I know everyone's the same. And I think we've made the second, I know we still got ages and we talked about it, and Barton will get it. Yeah. Why not throw your Cola centre back? At least you don't have to go up and catch it, You
can't say it's worrying and it's concerning and it's a must-win game and then go and say you want to play Jacola as the centre half.
Yeah, I mean, Harry's saying, Jerry Lawrence going to play. Yeah, it's weird. Even to Tovar as well. I appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, Kilgore if he's fit. Yeah, I mean, for me, yeah, I mean, yeah, I can understand. Like you said, it's going to be a nightmare. But for me, like Belly and goal, obviously. Hall at right back. I know Kilgore, he might not be 100%, but I'd rather him play centre back with Connolly. Then I'd go Gibbons left back because he's played left back before. He played left back last season a few games. Midfield, I hope, even if, I don't know, I don't want to see Westbrook personally. So I'd Rossiter, Finley, Evans. I hope Finley's back. I really do. We need that bite in midfield. And then, God, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because then, like you said, Harry Anderson on the right, Collins on the left, and then Marquis up top. I guess I'd go with. Like you said, it's an interesting one because you don't really know. There hasn't been any footage in training, so you don't have a clue. Obviously, they're keeping it all quiet, etc. Usually, on a Thursday evening, they're all, admins buzzing for it on Twitter, posting training pics, and videos, and one more day left to go, etc. But obviously, I don't think we're going to see any of that with the stuff that's going on. But obviously, we're going to get into score predictions now. Let us know in the comments. Obviously, do bear in mind the sort of squad we've got and what's going on. But yeah, let us know in the comments your score predictions. Neil, what are you going for your prediction?
I'm gonna go. I reckon it'll be 2-2. I just think we will get targeted. They'll play for dead balls all game, I think. And they'll just try and load it and win first contacts and see what they can get off of knockdowns. Because if we'd have had Connor Taylor, no one plays that way. They just avoid playing like it because we get so much success. I mean, the percentage and win rates of what he gets of aerial duels was a joke, and we've lost that. So it will be a no-brainer for them to be working all week on filling that box and trying to load it at the back stick and winning knockdown. So I think we will concede, but also we did see signs that we can still do things in the top end of the pitch. So, and off the back of them conceding after 7 minutes against Wickham, I mean, if you concede against Wickham, you'd pretty much get beat because they're that strong once they're in front. But they concede, they're leaky. We're not. We're susceptible to aerial battles all over the pitch now. 2-2.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Few predictions already. 2-1. 1-0 to Nick. Matt's is going 2-0 Rovers. Kelly's just saying Rovers are going to win. Kieran West saying 3-1. Keep getting your predictions as well. I know there's a lot of you in chat. Let us know what you think. If you're confident, you're not confident. If you're going for a 4-goal game like Neil. Big up to Smithy as well, saying 2-1 gas. Appreciate you tuning in as well. I'm gonna say what I said at the start. I think it'll be a very scrappy game with not a lot of quality, but I think we will nick it. I think it's going to be one of those games. I've actually never. This is one of the few stadiums I've never been to, Burton. But I know from watching videos and past experiences, it's quite a small pitch, very in your face, quite low down as well. In it, it's quite and it's just one of those. It's just one of those ground. It reminds me, or it looks from highlights a bit sort of like Sutton, sort of in your face, like you said. And yeah, I think it'll be scrappy, but I think we're going to nick a 1-0. I think we're going to get a clean sheet, even if we do have to play, whoever at left back or centre back. But yeah, I think we will. I think we will nick a win and get our. I think we do need a bit of confidence. It'd be nice to get, like I said, it'd be nice to get a win. But yeah, we don't really know what to expect. Things could change. We could get a few signings in. Who knows? By Saturday, we're still, still got the whole of tonight, tomorrow, to see what else happens. If there's any other crazy news that comes out of Rovers, if there's, Clark's miraculously staying or if he goes or whatever. But even to Nick as well, Jake as well, saying 3-0 gas. But yeah, we're pretty much going to end it now. I've been going nearly an hour. But obviously, I know it was at a different time, but I appreciate everyone watching. We will be back at the normal time next week of 6:30, obviously, and it will be on Wednesday. Like I said at the start, it was only today because I was busy yesterday, and obviously Neil's still at work, but managed to get on the stream, which was good. But yeah, I appreciate everyone that tuned in. I know there's a lot of you that will be watching it back on the live, so let us know. I know a few of you have just joined, but yeah, if you do want to watch it back, that'd be great. Harry's saying keep the previews on a Thursday. I mean, for me, it's easier on a Wednesday. Obviously, we'll decide if there's any change. Just we'll let you know, etc. And yeah, Crawley, I am actually going Crawley. Call me mad, call me mad, but I'm going Crawley for like the 6th or 7th time for a Carabao Cup game on a Tuesday, where we'll probably see. I don't know who we'll see. If we're going to see what sort of team on Saturday, then God knows what team we're going to see against Crawley on Tuesday. But yeah, can't be away days, can you? Even if it is Carabao Cup, and I've been Crawley like 8 times. But yeah, appreciate everyone watching. Hopefully, see most of you there. Hopefully, we can get the 3 points. That'd be gas.